inequalities the same way we solve equations. So we need to distribute first. So 5 times 3 is 15 minus 5 times negative 1. So minus 5x is less than negative 2x plus 6. Remember, check both sides. This side simplified, this side simplified. So now we can move the letters to the left, numbers to the right. So I'm going to go ahead and move my number from the left to the right. So I'm going to subtract 15. Okay, so I'm going to bring down the negative 5x, bring down the negative 2x, and then we have 6 minus 15, which is negative 9. Okay, now I'm going to move my letter to the left, so plus 2x. Okay, so I have negative 3x is less than negative 9. All right, so I'm going to write it over here so there's more room. All right, the last step, we're going to divide by negative 3. Remember, when you divide by a negative, you flip the inequality. Okay, so I'm going to have x is greater than 3. Okay, so if we were to graph this on a number line, I'm going to put 3 in the middle. I'm going to go 2 and 4. Remember, since it's just greater, it's an open circle. It's pointing, think of that like an arrow. It's pointing to the right, so I'm going to shade to the right. Okay? All right, so a clothing store is going to close one of its 2 stores and combine all the inventory from both stores. These polynomials represent the inventory in each store. Write an expression that it represents the combined inventory. So combined means we are going to add those 2. Okay, we're going to combine our like terms. So I'm going to combine the 1/2 with the 5. So when I add 1/2 plus 5, I get 5.5x squared. This x doesn't go with anything, so I would get minus 0.6x, and then I would combine the 9/2 and the 1/4 to get plus 4.75, and that would be your answer. Okay, number 12 is similar to the one above it. So we're going to get rid of these parentheses. So here I'm going to put a 1. So I'm going to have 2x squared, distribute my positive 1. So plus 4x minus 6x squared. Okay, then I just bring down the plus 9. Here I have a negative 1. So I'm going to have minus 6x minus 3. All right. So now I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm going to combine my x squareds. So I have negative 4x squared. I'm going to combine my x's. So I have 4x minus 6x. So that would be a minus 2x. And then I'm going to combine my numbers. So 9 minus 3. That's going to give me a positive 6. Okay, which graph below represents a functional relationship? So since we're looking at graphs, we're going to use the vertical line test. Okay, remember that's when you're looking at vertical lines. So since this one touches here and here, that is not a function. Okay, same thing on this one. It touches at 3 different spots. So that is not a function. This one, anywhere I go on this graph, it's touching one time. So that is going to be a function. This one is going to touch multiple times again. So that is not a function. Okay? How would you explain what a function is to a classmate? The easiest explanation is that x can't repeat. Okay? All right, so for number 15, how would you explain function notation to a classmate? Okay, so here you could say, replace every x with the number in parentheses. Okay, so it says using the graph to the right, how would you describe the domain and range for this problem? So since it's a real world problem, we aren't going to have negative numbers. Okay, so the graph is really going to start here. And then we see an arrow, so it's going to go on forever. Okay, so we would say this is all real numbers greater than or equal to 0. And that would apply for the domain and the range since it starts at 0, 0. Okay. All right, what is the domain of the given graph, and is it discrete or continuous? Remember, discrete is just going to be dots. Continuous is going to be connected. So if we look at this graph, everything's connected, so we know it's continuous. We are looking at the domain, so we're looking at the x. So we're going left to right. Okay, so we're going to look at this point, and we're looking at the x value of that point. So that point has an x value of 0. It's colored in. Then we're going to come all the way to the right. We're going to look at this point. That has an x value of 10. It's also shaded in, so our answer should be C. Okay, last one. What is the domain of the given graph, and is it discrete or continuous? So this one's discrete because we have dots. So what we would do is look at this dot. It is at -1. So that is my smallest value. That means A would be my answer.